This is just a walkthrough. It is just a like demonstration of what are the DBA activities, what are the tools, these kind of things. I have just jumbled in a proper way, and like I'm going to present to you guys. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the table of contents. Okay, Oracle database is an RDBMS. We all know that. It's a relational database management system. Just let me minimize these things. Okay, so RDBMS is a basic concept like which came from Mr. Frank, Edgar Frank, and most of us don't read about this person, but this person is the father of RDBMS. And he like developed the theory and about how an RDBMS database should be. Oracle is one of the major business corporation which promotes its product. The product is also of the same name, that is Oracle. And Oracle has a specific definition of a database, which it says that an Oracle database is a collection of data threads as an unit. The purpose of a data is to store and retrieve related informations. A database server is the key to solving the problems of information management. In general, a server reliability manages a large amount of data in a multi-user environment so that many users can concurrently access the same data. All this is accomplished while delivering high performance. A database server also prevents unauthorized access and provides efficient solutions, failure and recovery. This is more of an advertisement definition than a theoretical definition, but this is the Oracle's official definition of a database. Okay, now we are going to a database administrator. A database administrator, like let me give a background. A database administrator is a person who is responsible for administering the database. Now, what are the activities which comes under administration? The first and the foremost responsibility or activity which comes under administering a database is understanding the architecture. Not only understanding the entire Oracle architecture, but also it is very important that the DBA understands the architecture of the client's database. Like the client may have n number of customizations, right? So it's very important for the DBA to have a very clear understanding of the client's installment. Along with that, he should have a very good understanding of the entire Oracle architecture, how Oracle works. Okay, and if we jot down the multiple tasks which DBA has to do in his day-to-day life, like the first major task is installing, upgrading and patching Oracle database software. Okay, this is interesting. Installation may not happen so many times, like from my practical experiences I'm saying. Upgrading and patching is a regular activity, like because we know that Oracle releases patches and it also upgrades version, and we have to we have to time upgrade the database version so that it is the support license and the Oracle support, everything is in sync, and other compatible products are also in sync, and like we are not going obsolete in the database technology. That's why upgrading is very important. And patching. What are patches? Patches are generally categorized into three parts. Okay, first thing is the upgrade patch, that Oracle may release a upgraded version in which there are certain patches which needs to be applied to your current installation and it upgrades to another version. For example, like 11.2.1, maybe we have to apply some patch and it will go to 11.2.3. So this kind of patches is one category of patches. The another category of patches is for bug fixing, like there are certain bugs which can be fixed with a certain patch. Okay, third part is family pack. Family pack patches are the group of patches, like on a certain interval of time Oracle has identified that these kind of patch bugs are repeatedly coming, or maybe these kind of bugs can be grouped into a bundled package. So that package contains a number of patches. So these kind of patches are called family patches. So what kind of patch you are going to apply, what kind of patch you require for a database, everything depends upon the database administrator's understanding of the database and its problems. Now we go to the second part, that is the designing the database. Designing the database is it is not purely a database administrator's task, but a database administrator is very much associated with designing the database, because designing the database requires data modelers, DBAs, it means database administrators and developers. So it is a group task, it is a teamwork, and databases are designed. Developing and testing backup recovery strategies. So development and testing and backup recovery, these are everyday activities, and this depends, the volume of the work of this kind of activities depend from project to project. Configuring the network environments, then we have the starting and shutting down of the databases, managing storage for databases. So this is one of the most interesting thing, managing storage for databases. Storage backup is a very important activity for a database administrator and also for the business, because we cannot afford to lose data. So storage is a very important thing. Managing database objects such as tables, index. Okay, tables and indexes are objects. What are objects? Objects are the logical, like it's the logical view of the physical data. Okay, like a table. A table contains rows and columns, and in row, like the data is stored in a tabular format inside a database in a logical architecture. So we'll go details into the logical and physical architecture in our consecutive slides. Next is the monitoring and tuning database performance. This is a very important activities, like monitoring. We have various kind of alerts which can be scheduled, and we have to identify what are the alerts coming from the databases. There are multiple tools which helps us to do that. Like we have the Enterprise Manager, Oracle Enterprise Manager. We have OVO, HP, OpenView. There are different kind of tools. There are multiple third-party tools as well. And database performance is very important, because performance tuning is elite work of a database administrator. So performance tuning can be on various levels, like the database level, server level, query level, application level, multiple levels that we can describe. Like if we elaborate performance tuning, it can come up to a slide of like 50-60 pages. Okay. Next is investigating and gathering diagnostic data from and reporting the Oracle support service any critical database errors. Okay. Here I'd like to mention there is a Oracle support service which is commonly known as the Metalink, where we can raise service requests, we can get documents, we can get information. Like what kind of access project will have, that depends upon their licensing and partnering with partnership with Oracle. So this is also a responsibility of the database administrator. Now, as I said that we will be describing further on the architecture, just let me give a brief idea. Oracle architecture can be defined from three perspectives. First is the memory architecture, which is this slide. Then we have the process architecture, and one more architecture type is there, that is the network architecture. So network and client architecture, in that we are not discussing in this slide, but that is also a type of architecture in which Oracle can be defined. Let's go from the first kind of architecture, that is the memory architecture. In memory architecture, what it says that Oracle is broadly classified into 4 areas. First, we have the system global area, we have the program global area, we have the software code area, and the user global area. Among these two, the system global area and the program global area, commonly known as the SGA and PGA, are very important for a DBA. Okay, why it's important? From a layman's understanding, we have to keep in mind that system global area, SGA, is synonymous to the RAM of a computer or server. Okay, what does the RAM do? It is the real-time memory. Whatever data is stored in real time, that is stored in the memory. The same thing is the SGA does for a Oracle database. So what does the SGA do? It by definition, SGA is a group of shared memory structures that contain data control information for one database instance. Okay, and SGA components include cached data, blocked, shared SQL areas, and multiple kinds of things. Okay, we heard an important thing, that is the instance. Okay, we will describe about the instance in our next slide. Just let me give a brief idea about the instance. Instance is the Oracle database included with the background processes which Oracle runs. So together with the database and the background process, it becomes an instance. Okay, so what does the system global area do? System global area keeps all the cache, the data blocks, Like whenever we are writing a query, it blocks the particular object. So the data blocks information, SQL areas. So these kind of information are in the system global area. And we can define the system global area while we are installing the database. Okay, we can define the SGA. And definition of SGA has to be followed by certain parameters, which information is available in the meta-link. Then we have the program global area. The PGA is the memory region that contains data and control information for server or background processes. Okay. So like by the definition we heard the word background processes. Background processes are internal program of Oracle. Okay. So what happens that Oracle software runs multiple internal programs. So those programs are known as the background processes. So the region where the background processes operate is known as the program global area. Okay. And now we have the software code area. Software code area are portions of memory that store code that is being run or can be run. Okay, so like we are writing a SQL code. So this is in the region of the software global area. Oracle database code is stored in software area that is typically more exclusive and protected than the location of user programs. Software areas are usually static in size, changing only when software is updated or reinstalled. The required size of these area varies by operating system. And then we have the user global area. User global area contains all the sessions started by an user. Like a DBA is a database user. There may be multiple developers, developer 1, developer 2, developer 3. So all are database users. Creating user, removing user, providing grants to user also come under the activities of a DBA, user management. Okay. This was the memory architecture. Now we go ahead to the process architecture. Like I mentioned, the background processes. So background process, client process, and server process together make up a process architecture of the Oracle database. And like first thing comes in our mind that what is a process? A process is a mechanism in operating system that can run in series of steps. Okay, that means it is a kind of a program, we can say, which follows certain steps. Okay, some operating system use the term job, task, or thread. So for purpose of this discussion, the thread is equivalent to a process. Okay, like for our discussion, we can say that it is equivalent to a process. An Oracle database instance has the following types of process. As I said, that client process, background process, and server process. So what are the client process? So client process are like, it will be better if we see this diagram. Okay, let us see. What happens? We are an user. We are selecting some table. Like we issue a small command, select star from table 1. Okay, a client process is created. Why is it called a client process? It is called a client process because from this computer which we are operating, it has some kind of connection with the database. It may be a JDBC connection. It may be a ODBC connection. These are various kind of drivers which Oracle connects, or the Oracle client software may be installed. So all these kind of connections are client processes. So the request goes from client process and it enters the database server through the driver, and it creates a server process. The server process actually creates a database session. Okay, so this is the mechanism how the processes architecture are followed to retrieve or insert data inside a database. Okay, now we have the background process. What are the background processes? Now, to understand background process, we have to understand a simple thing, that data is actually stored in files. Okay, like if we see db_data_files, there's an object in Oracle, we will find all the list of data files. So data is physically stored in files, and there are control files which stores the location of the data files. Okay, and there are log files which keeps all the logs. So what the background processes do? Background processes perform all the activities which are required inside the Oracle database software. Like for example, there is a DB writer. Okay, what it does, when we issue a commit, it writes the database buffers to the Oracle data files. Okay, so this is the DB writer. There is a log writer which writes log to the log files. Okay, so there are multiple background processes together which work together to keep the Oracle database running. Okay, now we have the server processes. Okay, server process, as I said, it is the process of the server in which the database is installed. These processes communicate with the client process and interact with the Oracle database to fulfill the request. Okay, as I said, instance is the combination of the database and the background processes. So one of the major activities of Oracle DBA is to start and stop the database, and this they have to do multiple times. Maybe not for a production database, but for a development, QA, or testing database, they may have to restart it n number of times as requested by the other teams. Okay, so what happens when we start a database? When the command to start a database is simple startup. Okay, and it has 2-3 options like startup admin, which allows only an administrator to start. The startup mount. There are multiple options which is not in the scope of this slide, but if anybody has question, I can answer it at the later part. So when we start up, what happens? First, the database go to the no mount stage. What is the no mount stage? No mount stage is the stage where the instance is started. Okay. After the no mount state, it goes to the mount state. In the mount state, the control file opens. That means what happens? What does the control file contain? As I mentioned, it contains the location of the data files. So the control files opens, and the Oracle has the information of the data files. Now it goes to the open stage. In that stage, what happens? The database reads all the data files. It has a perfect understanding that where my data files are and what kind of data is there, and the database goes to the open stage. So these are the steps which happen like a series. Like if we use the startup command, we can see all this thing that first database started, mounted, and then opened. Okay, like in the command line we can see this. Now what happens when we shut down? Shutdown also has a straight cut command, that is shut down. It also has 4 kinds. We have the shutdown, the normal shutdown. We have the shutdown immediate, we have the shutdown transactional, we have the shutdown abort. Okay, they have different kind of functionalities. Shutdown normal is that it waits for all the users to close their sessions and all the sessions to be executed, and then it shuts down the database. Shutdown immediate, if we do it, it will roll back all the sessions and it will shut down. And shutdown transactional, what happens? It waits for the sessions to be committed and then it shutdowns. And shutdown abort is the abrupt shutdown, and it is not recommended all the time unless we are going for a recovery or something. Okay, so in shutdown, what happens? All the reverse steps happens. First, the database closes the control file, and then it goes to the no mount stage, and then it shuts down. So once it shuts down, we can see that all the steps it will show that closed, no mount, and then it is database is closed. This is interesting. Tools for a database administrator. So a database administrator is not left alone in this world. So they have multiple tools which are provided by Oracle, as well as there are multiple third-party tools. Generally, which I am showing over here, the images which we see are all Oracle supported tools, Oracle supplied tools actually. First is the Oracle Enterprise Manager. Oracle Enterprise Manager itself is an entire subject. Oracle Enterprise Manager is, if we go to understanding it, it is a web-based application which gives us an entire access to the Oracle database. Like we can shut down the database, we can start up the database, we can do performance monitoring. Almost all the activities other than installation and maybe uninstallation, all the activities can be performed from the Oracle Enterprise Manager. We can also do patch analysis, we can do performance analysis, we can see AWR report. AWR report is a performance report. It is known as the Automatic Workload Repository report. So multiple things can be done from the Oracle Enterprise Manager. This is a licensed product, and we do have an option for that. Next, we have the SQL Plus. SQL Plus is the structured query language. We all know SQL. So Oracle supports SQL, and the programmable options are there in the SQL Plus, which Oracle supports. It also provides a free tool, that is the Oracle SQL Developer, which can be used for any kind of SQL programs, SQL codes, and it can be used for creating procedures, packages, almost anything which can be done in SQL. Next, we have the tools for database installation and configuration. So I could not give an image of this thing. Tools for database installation and configuration. The primary tool is the Oracle Universal Installer. So Oracle Universal Installer, like whenever we shoot the command like run installer, okay, from Linux, or we have the setup.exe from Windows server. So generally I'm more accustomed with Linux, so let me go with Linux. Whenever you are using the run installer, it will pop up a GUI in which is similar to like installing any software, the GUI which we get. Okay, we get all the options, what are the product lines we have to select. We can get the options of the passwords and everything, and we can give the home directory, multiple things. We provide the information and we go to the next page, and it will contain another set of information. So this tool, the GUI tool, is known as the Oracle Universal Installer. And another important tool is the DBCA, which is known as the Database Configuration Wizard. So it is also an installation. It is not a database installation tool. It is rather a database configuration tool. So the configuration tool, what happens is that when we want to create another database, that can be done with the DBCA. We also have ASM configuration wizard. Like ASM is a kind of file system which Oracle is supporting. We have the configuration wizard for RAC. So there are multiple configuration wizards for installation and configuration. We have the tools for Oracle Net configuration and administration, and we have tools for data movement and analysis. So data movement and analysis, Oracle supports multiple tools, like we have the data pump utility, the SQL loader, so export import. These are the different data movement options. Other than this, we have multiple data movement options in the market, like multiple ETL tools, like Informatica. Oracle also has an ETL tool, that is the ODI, Oracle Data Integrator. We have the Golden Gate. There are multiple data movement analysis tools. The free ones which comes inbuilt with Oracle are the data pump utility. Data pump, what it does is that suppose we want to take a backup of a table and keep it locally in our computer or maybe in the server. So we can use data pump and we create a export of the table in the form of a dump file, and we can again import the dump file to some other database and we get the table structure. So this is the basic concept of the data pump. We have the SQL loader. SQL loader also forms works in a similar type, but SQL loader is a utility which can be used with SQL, and SQL loader also can take the backup of table level, table space level, and it can keep in a local position, and again we can load it to some other table, other database, and we get the previous table. So this is the function of the SQL loader. So by this we come to the end of this demo session.
This is your Tableau interface. Now in the left hand side there are multiple options to connect to database, right? In the middle interface you can see the visualizations whatever you are creating, right?